Hey, welcome to the Preparedness Therapist. I'm David, and I've been in counseling for over 30 years now. And counseling is what puts bread on the table, and preparedness is what keeps me coming back. Um, why preparedness? Because I think there's going to come a time when we're going to need it. We're going to talk about emergency communication systems in a dark ages situation when the grid goes down, when there's not power. Right now, it's really easy, isn't it? I mean, we have the internet, we have email, we have text messaging, we have cell phones, we have radios, and we're going to have maybe some of those things, but not all those things in a dark ages situation. So, I want to talk about 5 things that we can look at when we're in a dark ages situation as far as communication goes. We can look at ham radios. Now, if you're a ham radio enthusiast, wonderful, good for you. There's a chance that those ham radio stations will go down. Hams can talk with each other as long as they're in point of sight with each other, but there's the repeaters that may or may not have power. But that's something that really ought to be considered. In fact, that's the prepper community, isn't it? Right now, they're really into that ham radio, and that's proven itself over and over again, as long as there's power, electricity, to be very helpful. Now we're going real dark ages. We're going back to my indigenous ancestors. This talks smoke signals and light, using light and smoke signals. And it requires, sometimes you can use Morse code. My father, who was in the Navy, still remembered that after 40 years of being in the Navy as an operator. He still remembered the Morse code. So once you learn it, it's kind of like a bicycle. But you have to come up with some kind of a system so that the individuals who are on the sending end and the receiving end of the smoke signals understand what's going on. We see movies of the medieval ages where they lit fires. And so you can have 1, 2, or 3 fires in certain orders exposed, and you can send signals or messages that way. Let's talk about animals. Pigeons, of course, carrier pigeons, and also animals like dogs, goats. They actually use dolphins, they show. Those animals can be used to carry messages back and forth between individuals. Now, this is all something that has to be prepared ahead of time, isn't it? Let's talk about something that you can come up with in a matter of just a few minutes as a family or as a small community, and that is secret codes or symbols, or like if you have rocks placed in a certain position, triangle or square, or if there's rocks stacked on top of each other, if there's grass tied and pointing a certain direction, you might see something that a symbol kicked or scratched into the dust or the gravel. Some of those things will go away, and sometimes you want them to go away, but I know that individuals have used symbols like this throughout the ages as well, and it's really good. That's very specific to your family or small community, but it would be wise to come up with some sort of signal, like if your family is gone away from home and there's an event that occurs and you all have to meet at a certain location, the individuals at home might leave a some kind of communication signal that they've been there, but they left and went to this other location. And so when father, mother, any other siblings come by, they can look and see who's been there and who hasn't and where they've gone. We want to talk about using these within our community and also with other communities. And that's something that is going to take place later on in a more detailed YouTube video and in a chapter in one of my books. But you learn to communicate within your community, and then you find sister communities and come up with certain communication methods or modes for them as well. Thanks for listening. Go to my blog, thepreparednesstherapist.blogspot.com, and also look on YouTube for my books. And thanks for watching. Please help get everybody else prepared. The more of us who are prepared, the better off all of us are going to be.